name's Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, Lawrence County. And that's not far from Redstone Arsenal, Army Ballistic in Huntsville, Alabama, and where NASA began in early 50s. And this, I'm going to read, I wrote about mind control murders, and I'm going to read a letter from Jack Hartsfield, who was a reporter, FBI agent. But it's a text of it in reference to the Ferguson, Missouri, and patterns of mind control murders and who did them. But it's the people of this country who let it happen, and I'm going to tell why it happened and has been shut up. First of all, I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace, and I said that in 41. I was born in 39. Given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, I married a Childers. And I'm just going to show this, a photo of me. I'm almost 76 as far as I know. Wrote the mind control book back 76 to April Fool's Day of 80 when I was given antifreeze. This is Larry Flint endorsement he did in a political campaign when I was flown out there to his home, and he says in this endorsement, I know who's responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville. Oh, that was mind control. A person was programmed to shoot Larry Flint. So you're talking about agencies, and nowadays it's too easy to do it now. Even corporations use mind control. They can modify behavior, program you to go out and kill or commit suicide, and it looks like that person like Robin Williams committed suicide when it's murder by mind control, really. I wanted to show this. This is some mind control. Has nothing to do with mental illness. That's Holmes. This is next door to me at Virginia Tech. This is psychiatrist, Fort Hood, shooter. He finished he finished college at Blacksburg, Virginia Tech. He was born in Roanoke, Virginia, Vinton. This is Timothy McVeigh, and he says that the Army implanted a chip in him. I wrote about chips being placed in root canals, heart bypasses, all that. Nowadays it's much more simpler. But this is one of the patterns, and I won't go on at that because I'm going to read the letter. This is an old photo of my sons, Mark and me, and my son Scott, and I don't mean to leave you till last, Scott. I love all my kids the same, Mark and Scott. This is the Aurora, that's James Holmes. They're torturing him. He's not mentally ill. He's a victim of mind control. This is of the Tucson, Arizona. Gabby Gifford was a Congress lady. This is a mass shooting, and this is her husband, a twin. Remember, I said they gave me the name of a twin when they kidnapped me and stole my identity. This is Mark Kelly, and his twin is Scott Kelly, and they're both astronauts. Now that I think I said this about my father, Edward VIII, was forced out. His own brother in the Illuminati helped in my kidnapping and forcing out my father. My mother is a sister to George O'Keeffe, the artist, and my mother was an American. He never married this American spy. She married a double, Wallace Simpson did. This is an illegal monarch that should be prosecuted. And again, my uncle helped in my kidnapping. Joe Kennedy was ambassador sent there by Roosevelt, and the Illuminati or Freemasons, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, etc., Kennedys. Now, I want to read some letters, and this is Eric Snowden. This is Snowden, Edward Snowden. This is what Eric Holden said about him. No Snowden clemency. He's had to go to Russia. Okay, this is Jack Hartsfield when he was in New Mexican News in Santa Fe, near my aunt's ghost ranch in Albuquerque in '84. And that's when I started finding out about my kidnapping. I want to say this, one of the ways they have tortured me and run me, and I'll quote retired Virginia State Trooper Carl Barton's wife. She said, "This is how we run you, with chemicals, and also under the threat of having me locked up and calling me nuts." So I want you to listen to this rest. This is from Jack, and this I met Jack in '80. I was working for the district attorney's office. I met him, and then he was working for the Huntsville Times. He's FBI. And Salvador Vizzini was sent in there, ex-retired FBI, and as police chief in Huntsville to help save my life. I want to read this that Jack sent to me. And when they locked you up medically, or was it psychologically, for your own protection, there was little doubt in my mind that someone was dropping the hammer on you for saying too much, maybe learning too much. So they're using the mental health system, just like I told you, to give drugs, psychotic drugs, and make people look like they're nuts and torture them. And it stays on their record for the rest of their life. This is from Jack. At quiet moments, I try to make assessments of all the above, particularly as related to the FBI's Division 5 and assorted shenanigans. If they were made public, what would be the results? It would perhaps be destabilizing for the nation as a whole. The Huntsville experience and the agony of '63. Oh, geez, talking about the shooting and mind control was used in that, in John Kennedy. Remember I said he and his father, Joe, who was ambassador then, helped take down my father and kidnap me. So you should see what they were doing to me when they shot John Kennedy. I was in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, I wanted to go back and read this, another letter. Got a bunch of them from Jack. So to discredit you and me later, the logic of some very sinister people was simply to go to any length to destabilize your life, make you appear to be nuts, loony, schizophrenic, paranoid, to break you if at all possible, psychologically and emotionally. Now I'm going to get down to this because these were done in patterns. The mind control murders were. It's invisible, so it's hard to prove. So this agency deliberately did it. So I'm going to read this. After all, it's the guts of the U.S. space program, the home of anti-ballistic missile research projects, the location where every Army tactical missile system fielded anywhere in the free world was managed, and where J. Edgar Hoover's FBI Division 5, a super-secret police agency, had operated since the early 40s. That's when they kidnapped and brought me there in 41, about at the most 50 miles from Moulton is from Huntsville, I believe. In fact, it was so sensitive, the Division 5, that it didn't exist. Okay, now I want to go on and read this part if I can get it on here. He talks about MK Ultra, a mind control, mind altering research program, which the Central Intelligence Agency at the time had dabbled in for years. Still another program tied to the research effort called Psychotronics, formerly called Psychotronics by the later defunct Soviet Union, used electronic frequencies, low-level frequencies, and in some cases in what is called brainwave entrainment. And they could do this with ham sets a long time ago. The concept can implant fear, lethargy, manic moods, even deep depression, unexplained paranoia. And it goes back to the Tesla files that were stolen, and the FBI had them. And so at quiet moments, he's gone back here and talking about what I just said about the FBI. I want to say here, I'm just about dead, and I may be. I've put this up because you got stuff that what's happening to me at the moment, and it's snowing. I'm allergic to chemicals, and they've used it on me to move me. And people have gotten wealthy off of it. They do as the police agencies tell them to do, and they get all kinds of perks and crimes dropped that they've done. And where I'm at now is part of the people, Shaws and Patels, that are friends to Goodlatte, who's over Intelligence Committee, and Homeland Security, and John Edward, Virginia State Trooper. a state trooper. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the song that's going on.